So generally I like to clear the chakras in the room. This is definitely not my chop bowl. I repeat, not my chop bowl. Hey guys, this is Kilter. This is Break It Down. I'm set up in Sydney at the moment. I've actually only just moved into this house 2 months ago, so it's pretty barren. I haven't soundproofed anything yet, and I actually haven't met my neighbors either. So I think one of those two things has to happen really quickly. So when I normally start a remix, I go for a dive through the stems. You don't want to spend too much time listening to what they've done on their parts, because I find that it will affect the way that I think about it and affect the decisions I make. So yeah, the first thing that I did was found Kira's lead vocal and started playing some new chords under it. And I really wanted to take it out of the more bouncy house sort of upbeat space that they had it in and make it a bit ravier. So I have this a Reese pad that I was playing around with, and I came up with this progression. Yeah, I think it kind of had a really awesome euphoric vibe, which I've been kind of getting into a lot of my new songs, and was also sitting in a kind of ravey warehouse space, which I'm also really into at the moment. So it all kind of kicked off from there. One of the first things I think about is how it's going to be performed. And so for this one, I thought it'd be really cool to have a kind of half beat hip hop groove that contrasts to the really dancey euphoric section. So I started working on some percussion. One thing that was pretty fun with this one is I wanted to get a really live snare sound. And so without giving away my source, I went and dug through this jazz record, which I knew had this awesome drum solo at the end of it, and started pulling snares out of that. I got lots of different velocities and tones. And so when I layer that with the other snares that I have in there, it sounds really live and real. How many dudes, roll like this? These are none of my accomplishments. These are all Nicole's accomplishments. My only accomplishment so far, actually, is a signed Dylan Alcott poster. So this is good times. I've got some Focal Shape 65 monitors. I've got a little Motu 828X sound card. This is my trusty microkorg. I've actually used this thing on every Kilter show that I've ever played. It's an awesome little synth, really, really cool sounds, awesome delay that I rinse in my shows. But I don't actually normally use this in the studio. I'm actually running pretty low at the moment. And my little baby, my little Moog, has had some issues. I'll put it nicely. It's had some issues and I've had to gut it and send the boards out. And this is my rug. As far as other parts I took from the original, there's this key part they had. And I sliced it up to make a drone. And they also had this awesome atmospheric vocal thing here. And I think this is super PNAU, so I was I have to use that. That whew! For the first 2 days that I was working on this, I thought it was a dog. And so I was sitting here and working, and I thought someone's dog was just getting real mad outside. And then it wasn't until the second day where it was happening in the exact same spot, in the exact same sound, that I was oh, it must be in the stem. But do you reckon it is a dog? Do you reckon they sampled a dog? Does PNAU have a dog? Once I had those parts, so I had the synths, I had the progression, I had the drums, I had the vibe, I started working on the arrangement. So I wanted to get the verses in, and the verses are so sick. My best friend's always later, she just moves with the weather. And I used a dub delay to fill out the space here. One of the main problems I had, which is the biggest first world problem ever because they're such amazing vocal parts, but the vocals were super smashed through a compressor. And that is the Sam Littlemore speciality. He makes songs just sound so amazing and thick and full. And one way of doing that is putting a whole lot of reverb and things and crushing it, which sounds sick. But when I was trying to fit everything else around it, it was a bit difficult. So luckily Pete came through with the dry vocals. So I took the solid gold part and like looped it out. And then like was able to get in on the lead here. And kind of rearrange how they had theirs to make an extra bar of like anticipation before the drop. So there's the main Reese pad that kind of is the big anthemic build up. And I wanted to do some kind of weird stuff to it to make it more interesting. So I ran it through a granulator, which is a plugin that basically will like sample tiny bits of audio, and then you can choose like the sample size and like it sprays it, and it can end up being all these like really cool effects. Got this audio sample in here, and you can move around the start point. And so I basically like just moved the position this is in to come up with some like different patterns. Put in the strings. Pads. A counter melody. And then this is the end result.